So go ahead and tell us your name.
Ed Mullins.
Where were you born at?
I was born in Strong Branch in Breathitt County,
Is
Kentucky.
that Kentucky? Is that where you're from too?
Yes.
What was your occupation when you were younger?
I was a heavy equipment mechanic. I worked on a strip job at mine coal. And I had another job. I was a truck driver, truck owner, and when I retired.
Did you finish high school?
Yes. Buckhorn, Kentucky, 1966. I was 15 and 6 months old when I graduated in December.
So you graduated early.
3.5 years.
Did you go to college?
I didn't go to college right then, but later on when I got up about 38 years old, I went back to Hazard Community College and got an associate degree in business management.
All right. So when you think back on the Vietnam War, are your memories positive or are they negative?
The negative?
Tell us why.
Well, the soldiers were heroes. When I was a kid, they never had to buy a bus ticket. They would thumb and they'd always get a ride. They was like heroes, respected. And when I come back from Germany during the Vietnam War, it was like I was a piece of garbage, more or less. They just ignored you, never showed you no respect, nothing.
So I'm guessing that you looked at the World War II soldiers and you thought, well, I'm going to be seen as a hero and someone, very respectable and honorable. And you just came back and seen the total opposite?
I felt that it was my duty to go serve the country, and I volunteered for duty in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 days before we was going to ship over, they changed the orders, and I wound up going to Germany.
So even though you weren't in Vietnam specifically, were any of your family members in Vietnam?
Yes, I had a brother, Farmer Mullins. He done a tour. I had a first cousin, Pearl Bush. He done 2 tours, killed in action. I had another good friend, Floyd Watts, had done a tour, killed in action. And I had like Eddie Baker, George Baker, Alec Fowler, Ossie Noble, Roy Noble, John Aitman, just oodles of folks from where I was born at and grew up. They all went and was happy to serve. I mean, that was the way we looked at it. It was our duty. Country call, we went.
Do you know what position they served when they were in the war? Did they ever talk about it?
One boy that got killed, Floyd Watts, he was when he went down in the holes, I forget what they call that, some kind of rat.
Mm-hmm.
But that is, you go down the holes and find the enemy or weapons, whatever you happen to find. As a matter of fact, he got killed on a mission like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guys, my brother was, he worked on equipment. He worked on boats and some kind of equipment that run on the water and could run on the land too.
Do you know about how long that they were there, any of them?
My cousin Pearl was there about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother was there a year. George Baker and Eddie Baker, Ossie Noble, Roy Noble, Alec Fowler, they was all about a year. And Alec Fowler, he got wounded in action.
Yeah. So you told me that you went to serve for Vietnam, but they placed you in Germany instead. So
Right.
were you upset that you were in Germany and not Vietnam, where your brothers were?
At first I was, because I'd already had my mind. I was already had my mind going to Vietnam, and my brothers and neighbors and all had went there, and I just kind of felt like it was my duty. But after I got in Germany and got to seeing a lot of folks, there was a lot of folks that had duty in Vietnam, like say for a year, and they cut it short, like 9 months, 6 months, because they was trying to wind the conflict down.
Yeah.
And I had a better understanding of it at that time. I got over my feelings about Vietnam, and I went ahead and devoted myself to service.
So when you were overseas in Germany, did you have any contact with your family back in America?
Just letters. We didn't have Facebook or anything like that.
Yeah.
And on the phones, if you called anybody, you'd say hello, and then it'd go hello, 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 and finally, the other person on the other end would say hello, and it would go hello, 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 and just I only took calls that came to me. I never called anybody.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any motivation when you were in Germany? Anything that kept you going, kept you motivated?
Yeah, I was military police, and we had plenty. We patrolled. We had like 5 bases we took care of, and then we had a town, like a city, and we patrolled the city and all the bases, and it was basically our job to keep any problems that come up, try to settle them the best we could, where the soldier didn't come out to the worst, and the person that had the business or whatever, they didn't. We try to make it as good for the soldiers we could.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're familiar with the Vietnam protest movements and the people that were against the Vietnam War, like young teenagers and stuff. What's your opinion on that?
Well, my opinion then, and maybe even still today, if you earn the right to protest, protest. But if you're just down there to look good and wear a mask and a wig and paint yourself and haven't earned anything, been born in one of the greatest countries in the world, and down there protesting, and you haven't even earned no right to protest.
Right.
I'm kind of negative on that.
Yeah. Do you think they understood what they were protesting against, or do you think they just were following the rest of the crowd?
No, they just was kids being misled by a few people, and they was wanting to see and be seen, and they would follow about anything that you throw down in front of them. Basically, the way I think protests are today.
Right.
A few people lead lots of folks that's got more time, I guess, than they got money.
Yeah. So when you returned back home, did you expect to be treated with honor like a World War II veteran, or how did you expect? Did you already know that it was going to be different?
I didn't have any contact with the world while I was in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any contact. We had a radio station, but they never talked they played music and they never talked and nothing about what was going on or anything like that. And we had TV, but it was German TV. They spoke in German, so I didn't get much from that. And I came home thinking that the world would be in good shape, and I was shocked at what I found.
Do you think that they were considered heroes if you fought in Vietnam? Do you think that the people viewed you the same way?
I considered folks that fought in Vietnam a hero, and myself, I didn't go to Vietnam because they, like I said, it was maybe starting to wind down. Maybe that's why they canceled sending all of us over there. And I didn't really feel like a hero, but I didn't feel like I was scum of the earth.
Yeah.
I thought I ought to have been treated maybe just a little bit better than I was.
Were you shocked at all when these soldiers came back home, or when you came back home?
Yeah. Was I shocked at the way the world was? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Totally shocked.
Yeah.
But when I came into South Carolina and got out of the Army and went over to Atlanta, I got in Atlanta, I could tell something was different. You nod at somebody or, say hi. They didn't say hi, they didn't nod or anything. Most of them just went on, didn't even look at you.
Yeah.
But when I got back to Austin, Indiana, and got off that Greyhound bus, it was about 300 or 400 yards where I got off. And I got off and I had my uniform on and my duffel bag and all that. And I started walking. And when I walked just a little piece, the whole neighborhood met me and carried that duffel bag for me and pat me on the back. Glad to see me. I felt good then.
So that's very different from what...
Yeah, it's real different.
Yeah. And you feel grateful for that?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So when you look back on your service overall during this time, is there anything that you wish you could have done differently, or are you happy with what you did?
I'm pretty well satisfied with what I done because I was in basic training. I dedicated myself. I got promoted to private E2, advanced individual training. I devoted myself, got promoted to PFC. 30 days after I was in Germany, I got promoted to Spec 4. And I got to work a lot of special assignments with military intelligence and stuff like that. And then they promoted me to desk sergeant, military police, desk sergeant.
Yeah.
And I was kind of proud of what I done and satisfied with it.
Good. All right. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me today and answering these questions for me.
Well, you're most welcome.